This week on the Georgia and Daniel Show, join us as we travel to the Olympics. Hold up, rewind. Listen up to this episode as Georgia gets a gold in golf and Daniel flies to the Oshkosh Air Show. All this and much more coming up this week on episode 64 of the Georgia and Daniel Show podcast. Starts right now on Special Chronicles.
I didn't know that you had a crush on me. How did I never see all that we could have been? High time we turned the pages, start a story for the ages. High time we got it going, got it going on. I know it's never easy for people who love anymore, but we gotta try, 'cause you and I were meant to be. I love you, baby, and I know it takes more than words to show it. You are the one.
Welcome back to the Georgia and Daniel Show. My name is Georgia from Georgia's Kitchen Show, and Dan's cutest to love.
And I'm Joe. And I'm. What's my name? What's my name? I've only one podcast for 13 years. My name is Daniel from SpecialChronicles.com and Georgia's cutest to love. That's how we'll begin in the podcast this week.
Oh boy.
So we've got a lot to get to in a short amount of time this week, right, babe?
Yes.
Because before we talk about your gold medal in golf and me flying to the Oshkosh Air Show yesterday, just got off of a 37-minute flight. It was a very quick flight, but yeah, we're going to talk you all about what right, babe? We're going to tell all of our podcast listener friends what we've been doing the past week, coming up on the show this week, right?
Yes.
But first, we'll bring another segment. We don't have a movie or TV show to review. We don't have a movie to review this week, right?
No, we don't.
And so yeah, so you guys next week we'll try to maybe next week or so bring back a movie or TV show review. But in the meantime, we'll bring in another favorite listener phone call segment, right? It's been a while since we've talked to our friends.
Yeah, it's been a while that we haven't really talked to anyone on the show.
Yeah, and if you guys want to be lucky enough to have us call you, go ahead and email Daniel and Georgia at SpecialChronicles.com, or you can reach out to us on the Instagram or Facebook. You can DM us at
Daniel and Georgia.
At Daniel and Georgia. You can DM us on it, Instagram and Facebook. Hold on. All right, sorry. There's some other. I'm listening in down the hall. I probably shouldn't be listening sorry, I'm getting distracted by other phone calls. Anyways, speaking of phone calls, babe, are you ready?
I'm ready.
To the Olympics, kind of, right?
Yeah.
And what better way to do that than with, as you all know, United Airlines is a sponsor, proud sponsor of the Olympics. So our friend from United Airlines, our friend Angela, we're going to call her on the show right now. Let's get our friend Angela on the show. Right, babe? So phone is ringing.
Yeah.
So USA.
Hey, Angela, you are live on the Georgia and Daniel Show.
Hello, Georgia. Hello, Daniel. How are you both?
Hi,
Good.
Angela.
Have you guys been watching? Keep an eye on the Olympics?
Yes, I have.
Actually, I have been actually just recently with my mom.
And that's why we're not going to, just like in the pre-show, Angela, we told you we're not going to give you any spoilers.
No spoilers.
So if any of our listeners are listening, watching the live stream on YouTube or Facebook, then don't put any spoilers in the live chat.
Yeah, please don't, because I would be surprised.
I do too. And you know what? He had quite a few surprises at the swimming pool last night. Really nice surprises from some upsets and
There was. Did you catch the swimming yesterday? Last night? Angela?
I sure did.
Yes.
I sure did.
Yeah, that was. I think there was a swim of Alaska. I don't know if you saw that, but that was. And as you know, both George and I are swimmers, so that was a fun race to watch.
It was a great way to watch, and I love that they have cameras on the family home watching their loved ones competing, and they're able to communicate a little bit, and it's a really that we've been doing for the athletes this year. You know, it can't be easy for them to be away from their being able to compete.
Yeah, and as I think when Angela, when we first met, and then a few months later you met Georgia, but I think one of the first things that you had told us that was that you have Olympics watch parties, right?
Yeah, I always have an Olympic and opening ceremonies watch party. Unfortunately, due to an injury, I was able to just host a very, very small intimate party this year, but normally they're anywhere from about 150 to 200 people.
Awesome. And what do you enjoy most about the Olympics?
I love watching these athletes compete at their very best and be successful, but more importantly, I love that the whole world can come together. We can leave our opinions at the door, and we can be united together as one and cheer for every country, for every athlete, understand their sacrifices that their families made and that the athletes have made, and just really come together and be one big world of fans.
And not to be copying off of United Airlines, but I guess you could say the Olympics, we all unite, like all the nations coming together, all united together.
We are for you know, from August 23rd or July 23rd to August 8th. I think everybody's eyes are on the TV. We're all focused on the same thing. We just want these athletes to do the very best they can, and we want to see victories and graceful and gracious victories, and that's what we've been seeing. We're all doing it together.
Yeah. And instead of being focused on the past year and a half on COVID, we're now kind of switching the gears to something a little bit more upbeat and hopefully empowering and motivating.
I think so, absolutely. I think this is taking us in a step in the right direction, is moving forward. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Focus and concentrate on things that you can control, not on things you can't control.
Yeah.
And right now, I can control that I will be sitting in front of the television from 7 o'clock till 10:30 until August 8th, every single night. If I could figure out how to get Peacock to stream to my house, I would be up all night and never sleep.
And Georgia, did you want to ask Angela anything about the Olympics?
Well, can I ask you a question?
Angela?
Yeah, absolutely.
Out of the rest of the Olympics that you have seen, what was your ultimate favorite?
I would probably say, and I don't know what I'm drawing a blank, the young lady who won the breaststroke last night.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think more important, what I got out of that is when they interviewed her and they had Lily King standing next to her and they said, Lily, how are you feeling about this? And Lily said, no, we got the medals and just hand them down, keep our family, keep it going. It was classy, unforgettable comment from Lily King, and it really shows what kind of an athlete and a person she is.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yeah. I know firsthand from meeting Olympic athletes like Apollo Ono and Michelle Kwan, and I won't name drop anybody else, but they and I don't know. I don't want to put up since every person's unique in his own person. I don't want to put everybody in the same bucket, but I'm sure when you meet these Olympic athletes, that they really kind and really can really show you the best. And we know, as being involved in Special Olympics, the same thing with the Olympics is the best side of humanity can come from sports.
Absolutely. Agreed. Now, with that being said, we do have the Paralympics coming up, and I think it's really important because one thing that I wish they'd show a little more coverage on the Paralympics, but one thing that we can't do right now is that we can write a good luck card to the athletes, and I can send you the information. Yeah. It'll send the card to Colorado Springs, and they'll chance the athletes in Tokyo. Amy Martin, so she's in charge of Paralympics. I can send you the information, the letters and cards. Send you the address. But I think it's really important not to these Olympians, but I think show a strong support for our Paralympics. Kim Kardashian's line in the Paralympic apparel, which I think is really, really nice. And I think we need to show our support to those athletes as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And want to bring up something else before we let you get on with what's the day, or maybe you're gonna before you tune on the Olympics, you might tune on to the West of All live show of this podcast. But with, as you know, the Tokyo 2020, even though we're in 2021, the Tokyo 2020 Olympics is unlike any other Olympics in history, even with COVID popping up among some Olympic athletes competing. What would you what would you say is, and I don't know if this question makes sense, but what would you say is unique or I guess history making in this Olympics? You don't have to touch on the COVID side because I'm sure that's obvious, but what do you think is unique about these Tokyo 2020 Olympics?
So that's a great question, and it's a good question. You had an athlete, a young female athlete, who wasn't age eligible as of last year in 2020, because you must turn a certain age in the Olympic year if you make the Olympic team. She was not eligible, but because it was postponed at 1 year, she is not eligible in competing in the Olympic Games. So that's something that's very interesting. You also have some athletes who have qualified in 2020 or 2020 that now within this year, holding Olympic trials did not qualify. So there's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of happy and joyous moments for these athletes. So it's pretty interesting in how things transpired in the last half.
Awesome. Georgia, do you want to ask Angela any other final questions?
Not at the top of my head right now.
Right. So, Angela, maybe we'll wrap up this because we're trying to keep this episode not that long. So, maybe we'll wrap up with two final questions. One is, what is your favorite sport in the Olympics to watch?
Oh, that's a tough. Can I have three-way tie between diving, swimming, gymnastics? And by the way, I'd like to do a shout out to Great Britain for Tom Daly and his partner on synchronized men's platform diving. Oh, fantastic job, boys! Well done.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll give them a round of applause. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of the Olympic athletes with no fans being in the stands, they probably don't get to hear a lot of that applause.
No, they don't. But there are quite a few people in there that work the event and do something, and athletes are able to attend other athletes' events. So that's nice.
Okay, awesome. So a question that we always ask, I mean, I'm throwing Georgia into this but I guess on the other podcast that I host, the Special Chronicles show, a question that we always end with, is, inclusion is a big part of inclusion revolution at Special Olympics, but I guess I'm sure you could say inclusion is big in the Olympics as well. So, and I was at, I don't know if you saw on my Facebook or Twitter or Instagram that I was at the Oshkosh Air Show yesterday, flying on for the first time the new 737B Max aircraft. But anyways, what?
You did attend that yesterday.
Yes,
it's a great show.
I did. Yeah, it's a great show. Yeah, I did attend that. Jonna invited me. Anyways, so with. Oh yeah, the reason why I brought that up, I interviewed a pilot and then someone from the Aviate program, and a couple of people had said that this question is powerful. It's a powerful question to end with, and that is, what does inclusion mean to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Can I get that in the next podcast? Because I would have to. I don't even know the answer to that.
And if you listen to, if you and all of our listeners also subscribe to the Special Chronicles show, the other podcast on this network, you can listen to, for the past 2 years, we have a lot of different answers from different guests that have been on that other podcast. But yeah, you can get back to us. We'll call you. Yeah, we can call you again on another episode, and yeah.
I would love to be a part of this again, but remember, not during prime time coverage up until August 8th, and then we might have a break before Paralympics start, but then I will be happy to talk and answer any and all questions.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing you at work again, and
and thank you. And I wanted to say thank you so much for being part of the Georgia and Daniel show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for being part of it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and have a great day, and enjoy the Olympics tonight.
Thank you. Go USA.
Yep, go USA.
Go USA.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I kind of ended the call properly, but anyways, go USA, or as we say with our Special Olympics USA team, cheer for USA. Right,
yes, babe? Cheer for just USA in the Olympics.
So that was a lot of fun talking with our good friend, a good friend of the pod, Angela
Franklin.
Well,
yeah, she was a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, she was. And if all of you listeners want to be part of the podcast, you can email Daniel and Georgia at specialchronicles.com, or you can DM us on Instagram or Facebook at Daniel and Georgia. All the links will be in the in the show notes, the description below, right?
Yes.
All the links to get in touch with us. And if you want us to call you on the pod, you can go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and take. There's a athlete from Colorado who is a leader and fitness captain. So hey, Travis, glad to have you joining our live stream audience. For another Colorado listener, and he wants us to call. Well, you can go ahead and get in touch with us, and we can call you on the show. But anyways, babe, should we take a short break and then come back?
Sure, no problem.
You listening?
To the to the Georgia
and Daniel Show on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back.
International Podcast Day is September 30th, and you can help spread the word. You may be asking, what can I do to get involved? It's pretty simple. Head over to internationalpodcastday.com and check the suggestions. Then use hashtag International Podcast Day to join the conversation. You can reach out and connect with other podcasters, listeners, and your favorite podcast hosts. Remember September 30th, International Podcast Day, a day-long celebration of the power of podcasts.
Yep, International Podcast Day.
Okay, that was my first time seeing them.
Yes, that's just a quick note to let you all know the International Podcast Day is coming up. And this episode is brought to you by StreamYard. StreamYard is the easiest way to create professional live streams. StreamYard is a live streaming studio in your browser, and if you guys share your screen and much more, stream directly to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other platforms. Sign up for StreamYard and get $10 in credit with our referral link at specialchronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial. Again, that's specialchronicles.com/StreamYard tutorial. All of us at Special Chronicles, like Georgia and myself and a whole team, small team, a few of us, we love we love StreamYard here at Special Chronicles. And that's how we do these live streams, these live shows, the video editions. If you just listen to the audio podcast, you can go check us out on YouTube or Facebook. Just look up Special Chronicles or go to specialchronicles.com, click on live stream, and you can see how much we love StreamYard. So there we go. Yeah. I really need to copy that. So, let's bring this back. We're back. Babe? You're listening?
Sorry, you're listening to the Georgia
and Daniel show at SpecialChronicles.com. And believe it or not, I do know my name.
Yes, you do know your name. You need to know that.
See? There's a lot of controls on a podcast. You've got all these knobs and buttons and record button and microphone. A lot stuff has to be plugged in. Lights have to be turned on. Computer has to be on. The audio, the recorder has to be recorded.
Yeah, cool.
The knobs have to be toned up or down or backwards or sideways or sideways. You get the idea. So if I forget my name, then I forget.
So basically, you have a lot of technology on your hands now.
Yeah, well, I always do. But if all you have to do, if you're watching the live show, if you're watching us on the YouTube, if you're watching us on the YouTube, just look at the lower third, and you can see my name. There. See? There's no way that I could ever forget my name. Yeah, I did. You guys, that's a throwback to 23 minutes ago when we kicked off the program today. Should we go on, babe? So before I talk about my exciting day yesterday, because your name is first on the title of the pod, let's have you go first with your golden golf, babe.
Okay. Okay, well, as you guys know that a couple days ago, I started playing golf with my friends, Alex Burnett, Eddie, and Peter Caden, and Melissa. So all of us had a golf skills tournament a couple days ago. Each one of us got medals and ribbons, and I am proud to say, before I say what I did, I wanted to say to all my friends who did participate in that tournament, a great job in that tournament, because they did a phenomenal job. For me, well, I'm a completely different story compared to my friends. It was the first time that I actually competed in sports. This time it's not swimming, which I know that's not going to come up anytime soon yet, hopefully. But it was golf. And golf was actually one of my favorite sports. I have the genetics from my father who taught me how to play golf. And out of the blue, of all of my golf skills that I have been doing on Thursday nights, in this specific tournament, however, what I didn't know is that I was gotten so good, I actually came in first place. And I actually have the extra medal here in my bedroom.
You want to show us? Well, if you guys follow Georgia, you put it on your Insta.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on my Insta, as you can tell from the screen, it is at Peach Georgia 22.
And
so
your gold medal is on your Insta, right?
I haven't really taken a picture with my medal on Instagram yet, but I will.
You know what? Let's post it on Daniel and Georgia Insta, or on your Insta.
Okay, I will do that at some point later on tonight.
Okay, so you guys go follow Georgia on the Insta at Peach Georgia 22, and you can see that gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so see, instead of showing them on the pod on the live show, you can just that's the way to get our fans, our listeners, to go follow you on the Insta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's actually more than that. Even though that I came in first place, those first place winners who did come in first gets to go downstate.
Yes.
But there's a twist though. It is not going to be on. It's not going to be in Bloomington, Illinois, because they changed the location to Decatur. And I have been to Decatur before, but that was for my other sports. But this is for golf. And my mom Karen is going with me. Daniel here is going to be with me, but even though hold on a second.
Hold the phone. No.
Hold on a second.
Hold the pod.
I was about to say something.
Okay. I just want to tell the listeners this is the first time I'm hearing about this. Okay, I'll let you go on, babe. Go on.
Thank you. Even though that he's not coming with me in person.
Wait.
He's
man. I thought I was coming with you in person. Wait, you mean I can't? Can I come with you in person? Okay, babe, go on. I'll stop interrupting you. I don't think our listeners like it when I interrupt you on the pod. So go on, babe.
I still love you, always. Okay.
You always too.
I wanted you to come with me, but even though that's what I said, even though you're gonna be in my heart cheering for me.
Okay.
That's the surprise I wanted to tell you. That you're gonna be cheering me inside my heart.
I always do that. I always do that. Oh, I always do that.
Good.
But.
Here comes the but.
Hold on. The only kids listening to the pod right now, please rewind or stuff out of the room.
No, we're not getting into that tonight, please.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, no, you won't get into. How do you know where I'm gonna go with that?
Well, I know you, babe. That's why.
Can I just say No, you don't want me. Okay. Listeners, use your imagination with what I was gonna say. Okay, let's go on. Are you ready?
Yeah, somebody.
No, I mean, finish. Yes. Anyways. We need to take a break.
Well, that's pretty much the entire story.
Okay, we'll be right back. Right here. What?
I'm done sharing my story.
And scene. And scene.
That's what I just said. And scene.
We'll be right back on the George and Daniel Show at SpecialChronicles.com. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. As an independent public media podcast, Special Chronicles will always be there for you. Now we're asking you to be there for us. As a nonprofit independent media organization, we can only make programs like Special Chronicles with listener support. Our programs provide weekly, candid, honest, and inspiring conversations about the people with disabilities community that creates awareness, support, and advocacy within each week's episode. Listeners tell us our shows are an enjoyable and necessary podcast for the intellectual and developmental disability community and everyone else who is able to listen to stories about life from a different angle. Please, if you and your family love our weekly podcast, make a one-time, monthly, or annual gift of thanks today. Support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. We're back. This is
Back. This is Georgia.
and Daniel Show on specialchronicles.com that you're listening to. We'll let you use your imaginations on what I was going to say before that break. But what I was going to say, I want to before we get into the trip that I went on yesterday, I want to say, is there a way that I could join you at your golf or no?
Well, that depends. If you're going to be working on September 17th, that's the exact date.
What day of the week is that?
I don't know.
Okay, let's look at the calendar. It's a Friday. Yeah, I usually am at United, so let's just go with that. Okay, anyways, let's move on. So, babe, you about what I did yesterday?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to know what you did yesterday.
Thanks to my main employer, so not talking about Special Chronicles, but talking about United Airlines, I was able to join a few selected employees to go, to the Oshkosh Air Show in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Now, usually, folks, everyone, United doesn't fly there, but it was a very special flight because it was the first time the new 437B Max airline, which is this brand new aircraft, babe. We were the first paying passengers. That's a joke. It was it was employees. We didn't pay. But first passengers to be on board this new aircraft. So that was pretty fun. And
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So I did a few live streams there. So if listeners, if you want to just go follow me, if you just go to my Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, just look up at Podmandan, PODMANDAN, or just search for my name, Daniel Smokowski, on LinkedIn, and you can find those live streams. There was an interview that one of the customer service supervisors in Chicago, that we interviewed a pilot, and then this staff person from the Aviate, which is the pilot academy. But that, you guys, that's coming up on a future episode on the other podcast, the Special Chronicles show. But maybe it was really cool. There was a lot of there was some old planes. There was this giant like an eye doctor and an eye hospital plane. Like this plane, they turned this plane into a eye hospital. So like for people that in really poor countries can't afford going to the eye doctor, they've got this plane that they can. So that was cool. But then there was a lot of other cool old planes there, and there was also some cool kind of like flips and tones and upside down flying planes in the sky. It was on the I forgot what the airfield is. It's the United plane was parked right in the middle, and Boeing I don't know how to say it, Boeing Plaza. I got a cool. It's Boeing, a Boeing hat. It's the company that manufactures a lot of the airplanes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to say it, but anyways, if you guys want to see any pictures, I posted just not all. I posted just a few selected pictures, and I put it on my Insta and on my Facebook as well. So just look up at Podmandan on Facebook, or just look up at Podmandan PODMANDAN at Podmandan on the Insta, and you can find some pictures I took on there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Nice, babe. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear more, go subscribe to the Special Chronicles show, and in particular, subscribe to the Unified at Work podcast series, because I'm going to have a special kind of crossover episode. One of the supervisors, Natalia, she has a Women's in Aviation podcast, and so it was kind of a joint effort between her podcast and then my podcast, the Unified at Work series, that we kind of did a joint. It was a 12-minute interview with two people, and it was two back-to-back kind of on the fly interviews. We didn't have any notes; it was just kind of on the fly, but it was cool. So you guys, stay tuned. That will probably be coming the end of September, early October. It will drop like the kids say. It will drop on your favorite podcast app. So you guys just go to specialchronicles.com, click on podcasts, and then click on Unified at Work, and you can subscribe to that series, because a special live from the Oshkosh Air Show episode will be coming in a couple months. Yeah,
That's really awesome. That's really awesome, babe.
So with that, should we make this a shorter episode? 37 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, please.
But first, we take a quick message from our partner, ComEd Energy first.
Sure.
You're listening.
Sorry, you're listening to the Georgia.
And what's my name? Daniel Show on SpecialChronicles.com. We'll be right back. Support for Special Chronicles comes from ComEd. Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives, and really is powering us here at Special Chronicles to keep the lights on and our technology is powered on. As ComEd powers the lives of us, they're literally giving a voice to people with special needs. We thank ComEd for the generous support of our mission at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. Whoa.
We're back.
Yeah. This is
My bad. This is the Georgia.
and what's my name? Daniel Show on
Oh, for God's sakes, babe.
SpecialChronicles.com. That's going to be the one joke on this episode is what's his name? The co-host that doesn't even know his name. With that, we've got a listener from our favorite Colorado listener, Hannah, to let you both that I'm assuming she means to let you both know that you missed an episode of this show. So
What is she talking about?
I think she missed a couple episodes of our podcast the past couple weeks.
Oh, well, actually, that's because we haven't.
No, yeah, we have.
Oh,
We
okay.
podcasted.
Yeah, I'll be quiet.
So if Hannah, this is actually a good thing. I'm glad Hannah's bringing this up, because if Hannah or any of you other podcast listener friends miss any episode of this podcast, what can they do, babe? They can subscribe or follow us on the Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your podcasts. Just look up the Georgia and Daniel Show, or find us on YouTube or Facebook, and you can subscribe. So, Hannah, you can go back and listen. And Hannah, if you want to know where to go back and listen, just go to our podcast page, specialchronicles.com/Georgia and Daniel Show. You can find all the places to subscribe to this podcast, to the Georgia and Daniel Show, this pod. And you can listen or watch. You can go back. And so you guys, right, babe?
Yes.
All the listener friends like Hannah and all the other listeners never have to miss an episode, because you can go back anytime on demand and listen, right?
Yes.
That is the power of podcasts. And speaking of the podcast, September 30th is going to be a big day, right? Right, babe? September 30th.
Yes,
Because
September 30th is International Podcast Day.
International Podcast Day is September 30th, and you can help spread the word. You may be asking, what can I do to get involved? It's pretty simple. Head over to internationalpodcastday.com and check the suggestions. Then use hashtag International Podcast Day to join the conversation. You can reach out and connect with other podcasters, listeners, and your favorite podcast hosts. Remember September 30th, International Podcast Day, a day-long celebration of the power of podcasts.
Yes, we will be. I just realized the listeners saw me say yes, yes, and the YouTube people just saw me say yes, because I was still muted. I was halfly muted. Anyways, people wish that they could have a mute button on me even when we're not behind the microphone. Babe, do you ever wish there was a mute button on me? No?
No.
Do you ever wish when we're together that they could just mute me? No?
What? No. No.
Okay. And tell all of the listener friends how they can get in touch, right? And follow us.
Yes.
So, babe, how can they follow you on the Insta?
You guys can follow me on the gram at PageGeorgia22.
I thought we were saying Insta now. Isn't that what the kids are saying on the Insta?
Well, yes, but some people can say on the gram.
Okay,
It's
whatever.
not a huge deal.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. So you can say Graham, I'll say Insta. You can follow me on the Insta at PodmanDan, PodmanDan at PodmanDan. You guys, if you ever want to find out what we are both doing when we're not behind the microphone, following us on the Insta is the place to do that, right, babe?
Yes.
So once again.
Okay, you can follow me on the gram at PageGeorgia22.
And you can follow me on the Insta at PodmanDan. That's PodmanDan. You can follow both of us. You can follow this pod on the Insta and the Facebook.
Daniel and Georgia.
Yeah, Daniel and Georgia on the Insta and the Facebook. And you can tweet us at Daniel Georgia us, hashtag Georgia and Daniel Show. And if you guys are on the Twitter or the Insta or the Facebook and you use hashtag Georgia and Daniel Show, we will reshare, we will retweet, we will reshare on the Insta or on the Twitter, and we will give you a shout out if you tweet us or you Insta us. Insta us? Gram us? Insta us. Gram us. Instagram us. Whatever the kids say.
Yes.
And don't forget you guys to go to specialchronicles.com to follow this network on the Insta, on the Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Subscribe to all of our podcasts. Subscribe to our newsletter. Subscribe to this podcast. Right? Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow. Do what you do with this podcast. Right, babe?
Yes.
Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, all that. And we want to thank our partners. If it wasn't for our partner and our supporters, we wouldn't be able to be behind the microphone to share our adventures of our life from a different angle. So once again, babe, it's thanks to who? Who do we thank?
We thank to Comet Energy Force, specialchronicles.com/Comet.
Yes, you guys go there. Yes, we can applaud them because we love the ComEd Energy Force program. They are the nation's first energy efficiency education program taught by people with disabilities. So, thank you, ComEd. We love you. And also thanks to the listeners, to our supporters. You all, if you want us, Georgia and me, to continue being behind the microphone, then please donate. specialchronicles.com/give is where you can make a gift, and it goes a long way, so we can continue to be behind the microphone and we can continue to produce this podcast. Anything else?
I had so much fun doing this.
I had so much fun too. So, folks, this was a shorter of an episode, but we will be back hopefully next week, right? Hopefully.
Yes.
Georgia will update you all on her little cousin's wedding next week. So coming up next week on the Georgia and Daniel Show, Georgia tells us about her what?
About my goal. About me winning in first place in golf.
No, you're talking about this week. I'm talking about next week. Next week on the pod. Next week on the pod. Your cousin's wedding.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I will talk about how my cousin is going to get married.
Well, by the time we call next week, your cousin will be married. But anyway, yeah. And I'll talk about going to Iowa for my great uncle's celebration of life service. And so all that and much more. And who knows, if you want us to call you next week on the pod, or if you have a review or TV show, get in touch with us. The links to get in touch with us are below. Daniel and Georgia on the Insta Facebook, or Daniel and Georgia at specialchronicles.com. Yeah? Does that much that covers it?
Yes.
So, babe, I love doing this podcast with you. Yeah. You've been. You want to wrap it up?
You guys have been listening to the Georgia
and Daniel Show. I finally got the name right. SpecialChronicles.com. We'll see you next week. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.